Hi everyone. I just thought, randomly I would come live, because why not? West Ham just got abused. Um, figure there's some of you might still be watching for a notification. I know we get some people every now and then when they come on, so I thought I would check in, see how everyone is, have a drink with all of you. I'm not going to do like a 3-hour marathon this time. I really can't be bothered. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who's in the chat. I'm live on Facebook. Hey, quick review of West Ham in that game. What's your review?
Ass.
Yeah, I mean they were pretty bad. Look, this is as close as you can get to being on the show. Oh, Charlie boy, what's up,
Charlie boy?
Hey, Charlie boy, my G. Ah, what a legend.
What a legend.
How's Florida life? But yeah, West Ham were terrible today. Jesus, what would you change?
Let's go to YouTube.
Yeah, you go to YouTube, search West Ham Random, and then you'll see me.
Okay, bye.
All right, see you in a bit. Bye. That was a guest appearance from Jesus Ferreira. Hopefully he'll be playing for the US national team against Mexico in a couple of weeks. I know I always tease the fact that I have, friends in high places. But yeah, man, we are so bad. I think this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I mean, I don't think David Moyes has any chance of being fired, right? I mean, I think I get it that this is inappropriate, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to say it anyway. I think David Moyes could break into Karen Brady's office, rape her, and still not lose his job. Like, I think there's literally nothing he can do. Like, he basically every post-match interview, he is taking shots at fans. Who the fuck does that? Like, he literally is like, he posts, well, real fans would stand up and support me letting my team be a total shambles. He doesn't lose matches, he wins matches. But defensively, we were atrocious that game. I mean, the first goal, like when the ball goes in, because Wilson, who scores every time against us, left him totally unmarked. So he's there. The goal goes in. 3 of them. Rice, the 2 defenders, they're literally all looking at each other, just like, anyone? Like, whose job was it? They don't know what they're freaking doing out there. And that's Moyes' fault. That's all Moyes. Charlie boy, what's been going on? Fill me in while I have this drink. Hopefully we'll have some people join us. I mean, I know that we don't go live very much. Probably this, who knows, might be the last ever time. I'll never say never, but this StreamYard, I'm gonna have to convert it to the free one soon. And then we'll see what happens. I like to just randomly pop along and say hello to people, but maybe everyone's asleep now. Probably after that. Charlie boy, did you watch the game? I can, if people want to swing by and come along, I will put the code into the chat. You are welcome to come on. I don't expect I'm going to be live for particularly long, because I can't be bothered. But I don't know. I just thought, I'm just going to come and ramble for a little bit. Hey, Vernon, how's it going? Big up, Vernon. But yeah, it is a bit of a shambles at West Ham. I mean, what does everyone think? I mean, have we got any chance of anything? Have we got any chance of losing David Moyes before the end of the season? Am I wrong? Is there any chance? Does anyone else think, nah, there is a scenario that means he could go? And I doubt it. But I just, for the sake of Peach, just would love West Ham to do something. And I got home, nothing going on, so I just thought, I'm gonna randomly pop onto West Ham Random. No, I mean, I totally agree. I don't think there is any world. Like I said, he could literally go and bang Karen Brady in her office without her consent. Yeah, you're right. No, he's not going to get fired, but he might get killed. That is a possibility. Especially, like I love West Ham and I love my friends who are West Ham fans. But if we've been to the games and we've been around West Ham, we know that there's also some liabilities out there. Some nut job West Ham fans. You've got nut jobs in every group of people. And, I don't know whether questioning the fandom of some of these nut jobs is a particularly sensible thing for the manager to do. I don't really know how that's going to get people on side. It's clear that he's checked. The thing that drives me mad is he's clearly checked out. So why is he still there? He's just collecting his money. None of us can. I'm a bad example because, to be honest, I do show up and do a shit job sometimes, but it's because I'm the boss and I can get away with it. But, we can't go to work for people and do a shit job and talk about how it's not my fault that I'm doing a shit job and stay in our job. So I'm not really sure how David Moyes can. I mean, if only Eddie Howe. I mean, honestly, I keep thinking this. Newcastle was us for 2 years. Why couldn't we get the Saudis to buy us? I mean, I know there's going to be some woke people that are like, but all of the Saudi Arabia, they're such bad people. Yeah, there's bad people everywhere. Still, I'd rather it would be nice. It's been nice to be in the semi-final of the Europa League. It's been nice to be on the door for Champions League. But then again, I mean, our theme song literally says, and then like my dreams, they fade and die, just like bubbles. So I guess it's no surprise. It's written on the packet of our team. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what I would, at this point, Charlie, I actually think that what would be a good idea, I mean, and I've said it before, put him on gardening leave. Just put Moyes on gardening leave. We're not, you're not fired. We're just going to, like some of your comments, we've decided they're not acceptable. We're going to put you on leave and we're going to let Nolan and Noble take over the team for the rest of the season. And then we'll talk about it at the end of the season. I mean, that's not going to cost them extra money, the owners, because clearly that's what they care about. They care about spending money. They don't want to pay off David Moyes. Fine. Don't pay him off, but let him stay at home. He's doing no good at all. Defensively, this match was such a joke, and obviously a couple of these individual errors, Fabianski coming out and just kneeing the ball out horrendously. Fabianski again, throwing the ball to Aguerd, who's trying to do a drag back in his own freaking penalty area. I mean, just basic football 101. So, I mean, we threw away the game, but it was the nature of it. And look, it's so tight in that area. The last thing we need to be doing is screwing over our goal difference. And the problem is you've got David Moyes not caring about it. Sorry, I'm just texting one of my friends. Jesus wants to watch this. I don't know why, but he's on his way to dinner, so he's going to put it on in his car. Should just send him a link to it, really. But I don't know how. I can't be bothered. But yeah, it's a mess. The players do not look up for playing. They don't look organised. I mean, they just don't look like they care. And I think the only reason we're doing so well in Europe is because we're playing absolute shite. We're not playing anyone that's any good. I don't know. What do you all think? Is there anything else we can do? Anything? He's not going. I mean, he's not going. People, I mean, I'm in these group chats and every single match, it's like Moyes out, Moyes out. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. Trying to think what else has been going on in the world of Adam Frankel and West Ham United. Not a lot, really. I don't have a lot to report. I have been doing a little bit of intermediary football agent work, which has been fun. it's fun to see. It's fun to see the other side of the curtain as such. Although it spoils it a little bit, seeing footballers as like humans. But it's been fun to like look at negotiation, and it's weird because we as football fans, we want and expect the players to show some loyalty to us. But most of the clubs that I've had any sort of experience with, they don't give a shit about players. They're a business. They are trying, you've got all these players doing a very similar job, and it's the club as a business's job to try and get that player for as cheap as they can get that player, and they pay on the loyalty. Someone who's grown up in a club and been there the whole time, they want to try and use that loyalty to convince them to sign for less money, but it don't work the other way round, So it is a weird world of sport. But it's even weirder. I've probably said this before, but in American sports, it's crazy. Sports players and athletes over here are legitimately slaves. Like, they don't get any say whatsoever. Like in England, if a player gets approached by a club, first of all, the club has to give permission, then they discuss personal terms. I know someone who literally was told, hey, you're going to Toronto tomorrow. We've traded you, from Dallas. So this lad, early 20s, now has to move. His family here, everything's here. Now he works and plays in Toronto, in Canada. Just insane that that's allowed in this day and age. But yeah, Charlie boy, I mean, it has gone downhill. You wonder as well, with Pearson Irvine leaving, obviously they've not come out and said anything, negative, because PR and all of that, they're not going to do it. But it does make you wonder why. Is there more to them leaving? Was it a matter of hey, David, we're being found out. This isn't working. We need to change our approach a little bit. And Moyes just being his stubborn self and being like, nope. I know we've paid all this money for these players. I know we've just signed a player who is now our top goal scorer, Danny Ings, but we're gonna just leave him on the bench. We'll sign a goal scorer, a proven Premier League goal scorer that's been doing it his entire career, and we'll just continue to play our hapless right back up front, who's had a horrendous season, totally out of form. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I wish someone could. I'd love an explanation. I'd love someone to be like, yeah, this makes sense as to why he would do this. None of it makes sense to me at all. But yeah, I think you're right, Charlie boy. CB. Ever since they've left, it has gone downhill. But West Ham are going downhill, unfortunately. At least there's worse teams than us in the league. I was at the pub with someone earlier on, and she was saying she thinks we're going to get relegated. She's been thinking it all season. Let me see. Vernon said, "Isn't Irvine still with the club?" I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. So I can't do a couple of Google searches and let me know. But yeah, after that, I'm trying to look at our goal difference. Oh, I just Googled it and it brought up last season's table with us at 7th. But yeah, our goal difference is now on -13. Before that we had, obviously we're on single digits. Now Leicester City have a better goal difference than us. Leeds now have a better goal difference than us. That's two of the teams in and around us that now have an extra almost half point if we continue like this. And man, I don't get it. I just don't. Southampton. I want to say that they're cut adrift, considering their next game's Man City. But they've got a crazy they've got Man City, Palace, Arsenal, then Bournemouth, Newcastle. But you can't really rule anybody out. Okay, so yes, he is still with us as a scout until June. But yeah, the good thing is that 3 teams are worse than us. Arguably, all of the teams from Crystal Palace down are as bad as us. I would say. Even Crystal Palace. I mean, look at the list. We've got Palace, Leeds, Wolves, us, Everton, Forest, Bournemouth, Leicester, Southampton. I can't imagine Southampton are going to stay up. I can't imagine Bournemouth are going to stay up. But I mean, it's so tight. Literally any of those, and it's 9 teams. 9 teams in the Premier League are at risk of going down. And we're in the final straight. There's 9 games left of the season. We've got 10, but one of those against Man City. So, there's 9 games left. There's 27 points left on the table. And most of us have got to play the teams around us. I saw, for perspective, after 28 games last time, when Avram Grant was here, we had 1 more point at this part of the season. 1 more point under Avram Grant than now. And we did get lucky against Southampton, but we thankfully made it happen. And they do look terrible, but Southampton they've pulled out some crazy results though. I mean, recently, right? They got some. I mean, literally their game before us, they got a 3-3 draw against Tottenham. Who else did they beat? They got a draw against Manchester United away from home as well. They beat Chelsea, but I mean, that's not really saying much because, Chelsea are crap. But the point is that Southampton have pulled off a few results. And I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You're totally right. He's just, which is why, there's no point. He's not going to go anywhere. Moyes won't go anywhere. But we need him gone. We need him gone because we need some changes. I mean, the only saving grace against Fulham is that they're missing they're missing Willian, they're missing Mitrovic, I think they're missing Silva, their manager. Not that I think that makes any difference whatsoever if the manager's not in the dugout. I don't think that does anything at all. They're on the phone the whole game anyway. They're probably watching from up in the stands. They've probably got a better view of the field than if they were down there. So, but yeah, I mean, we got to hope that them losing people is going to work. Yeah, he has. Moyes just doesn't change. I'm certainly not surprised. That's amazing. CV, that is the comment of the show right there. If I could rename this show, I'm going to see if I can. How do I? Oh, yes, I think I can rename it. Soucek is the new Fellaini. All right. Let's hope this works. Yes. I've renamed it because that is amazing. Thanks. I mean, I think maybe they who knows? I mean, but it's like Epic Ashtime just said earlier on. The problem is that he won't make changes. He doesn't like to change anything. Soucek's been great for a couple of years. It doesn't matter that the player's out of form. I'm going to continue playing him anyway. And you're right. Fellaini was much better than Soucek. Apart from Soucek's amazing season, he had a great season where everyone was after him. But you look at all of these players that have played so well, and you wonder whether or not they, why are they playing so badly now? They've got so little confidence. Part of the manager's job is to give them confidence. Part of the manager's job is to keep them organized so that they know what they're doing. And we're not seeing any of that in these games. We're seeing a haphazard, joke of a team making ridiculous mistakes, not really giving a shit. And then the manager comes out and just, takes a piss out of the fans after the game. I mean, it's insane. And yeah, I mean, of course, Fulham are. I mean, every team, especially every team above 12th, that's where the chasm is. all of those teams have a lot, have a lot going for them. The thing that you find though at this part of the season, it's why Southampton and Bournemouth have picked up some surprising points, is that when there are teams playing so shit and languishing at the bottom of the league, like West Ham, playing so predictably, so badly, sometimes we get the advantage of a team that are good letting their guard down a little bit, because Fulham are going to come to that game expecting to win. Which I can't remember ever since I've supported West Ham, maybe back in the days of Luis Boimorte and Louis Sahar, but I mean, Fulham have never gone to play West Ham and been the favourites to beat us, ever. But it's happening now. You're exactly right. I mean, you can see the division. The problem is that Moyes got rid of some real characters, and because he spent so many years not signing anybody, it meant that he had no choice but to sign a shit ton of players in one window, which destroys our chemistry. Anyone that's played FIFA knows that you need to get 10 games together to get the green arrow. Well, used to. I think they've changed it now, but on Ultimate Team, they used to get a chemistry bonus after they'd played 10 games. But we've brought in a whole ton of players, and I don't mean this in a way that's against people from other countries, but there's a lot of foreign players. And when you've got foreign players that don't speak English as their first language, they don't gravitate towards the English people. And the sort of banter that was going on in the locker room, in the dressing room with, I've gone American, in the dressing room with, when Noble was there, captaining the team, and there was a togetherness, everyone was together. We had some characters. Masuaku was there. Yarmolenko was there. Snodgrass was there. A bunch of guys who were like a little bit old school, very like just good lads to be around. They made it a good dressing room, and you could tell that the team were together in the way that they were performing and the way that they were carrying each other and fighting for each other. Whereas, they are just divided. And I think that the problem is, you're right. I mean, I think that they're divided against Moyes. They don't like what he's doing. But because of that, it bleeds onto the pitch, and they're divided against each other. And like I said, once again, like for me, like it's that highlight in the second minute of the game when Wilson is totally unmarked and has 3 players in a triangle around him, and he's in the middle of the triangle. He gets up for the header, it goes in, and all 3 of those players looked at each other. They didn't say anything to each other. I mean, at least we couldn't see that on the camera. But from the game, what we could see on the camera is it was right there, and they literally were just all looking at each other, as in like, well, why didn't you get him? Why didn't you get him? And it just shows total disorganisation. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for the Premier League. And I hate to I don't like criticising people because I don't think I could do a better job than David Moyes. Actually, no, I do think I could do a better job than David Moyes. Now I think about it, I've got my FA Level 1 coaching badge, so I mean, I'm on I'm on the path. It's not quite enough to be allowed to be a manager, but I'm pretty sure that I can at least go in there and bring some togetherness into the team, and some encouragement, some confidence, make it a little bit more dynamic. All right, let's mix it up a little bit. Areola, you're in goal now. Thank you, Fabianski. You're my number 2. I appreciate everything you've done for the club, but it's not your time anymore. And after the blunders in this game, look, I appreciate everything that Fabianski has done. He's been great for us, but you can't have a game like that and still have your place in the team. He made a couple of saves, but it was you can't concede 5 goals, 2 of them being pretty much your fault, and still keep your place in the team. And so for me, that's Moyes' first test right there. Does Areola get the nod in the next game against Fulham? Which, when is it? Is it Saturday, Sunday? I think it's Saturday, right? I should probably know, but I don't. Yeah, it is. Saturday. Is it a 9 o'clock game for you guys? I say you guys. Most people are in America. It's a 9 a.m. game for us. My mum comes to visit tomorrow, so whether I get to do it, I don't know. Yeah, he does. I mean, the thing is that and I hear a lot of people say about that Europa Conference, and well, he's doing well there. But I mean, we're playing absolute trash. You know, like AEK Lether. I don't know who. Can anyone even remember the name of that team or how to say it? I literally can't. You know, wow, look at us. We broke a record. We've got the longest streak of wins in European competition out of any team in the history of English football. 8 wins in a row, a new record. Usually because in the group stages, when it gets to the last game, you play your youngsters and, you know, you lose or you get a draw because, you know, once you've won 5 out of 6 of your group games and you've already guaranteed the group, you don't really need another win. Obviously, Moyes doesn't like to make sort of changes like that. He brought a couple in, but you know, he likes to keep the same players playing every single game twice a week. Exactly. Lanaka. Who even knows? Cyprus? I mean, they even have a league? Who even knew that they had a league? I don't even think they're on FIFA, for God's sake. So, I mean, so forgive me if I don't get excited about us knocking past some, you know, players that are not even on FIFA. But it is pretty shocking. And partly, you know, like, I don't know. I'm in two minds. I'd love to win the competition, but if we get to the final, it's in Prague and it's on my birthday. So if we get to the final, I don't think that I could not go. I mean, I have to go to the game. I have to. It's a European final. We'll probably never get another one. You know, it's unlikely. So if it happens, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to move everything to get there. But I kind of don't want to go. So I'd be gutted for us to get knocked out of Europe, but at least it saved me a lot of money. And at least we can focus on the Premier League, which is, you know, a lot more important when we're getting swept away 5-1. But anyone else get anything exciting to say? Because otherwise, even though I haven't even finished my drink, I've been talking so much. I guess that's why I went live to rant. Anyone else got anything before I love you and leave you all? It doesn't matter if not. We'll go to like 30 minutes and end it. It's a shame. Normally at this time we get the all-nighters up. You know, like Clips / Charlie Walsh. You know, Bex XX and others. But on the bright side, I mean, Paqueta, I've been quite impressed with Paqueta. He's a really good player. I mean, I wish we could play football in a way that it, you know, suited him a bit more. But he's a really, really good player. I bet he regrets so much coming to West Ham. I wonder what Moyes said to him in like the meeting. He's like, look, semi-final of the Europa League last year, and 2 years in a row we've been, you know, within a match of making Champions League football. We've been super close. So yeah, you should join us. I imagine that's not how the conversation went at all. I imagine his agent was like, hey, West Ham want to pay you a shit ton of money because, you know, they haven't spent money on anyone in a couple of years. So they're about to sell their best player. They're going to have money in the bank. I wonder where Rice goes. What do you think, people? Where do you think we'll be? I'm going to be cheering for Rice wherever he goes. But as long as it's not Tottenham. And I'd prefer it not to be Arsenal. I think I'd probably like him to go to Man City. Because I can, you know, I've already got the Man City jersey, shirt. I keep saying American things. I've lived in this country for too long. But yeah, I'd quite like him at. I've heard a lot of rumours about him going to Arsenal. I will try to. I'll try to get a little bit of info because I think that one of my friends works for the same agency that Rice is with. I think Declan Rice is with Wasserman. Let me have a look. Declan Rice Wasserman. See if anything comes up. West Ham complained to TalkSport over Danny Murphy remarks on Declan Rice. Oh, yeah, who knows? Oh, yeah, Wasserman Media Group is the football agent at the heart of negotiations for Declan Rice. So, yeah, I maybe can, I'll try and get some inside information if I can, to throw a few tidbits around. I mean, I'm not in the know, really. We're going to go to third. I'm going to try and stop this on 3-3. Oh, 3-3-11 is what I'm going to try and do. So I know it takes a few seconds. I usually mess it up. So I'm going to try and, press stop a little bit before. So thanks for coming and joining us, guys. CB, it's always a pleasure to see you. A bit cash time. Eamon, Vernon. Thank you, boys, for swinging by and saying hello. It's always a pleasure. I'll try and keep this thing going a little bit. I'll try and come back one more time. I know at some point the subscription is going to be up for StreamYard, so we'll downgrade to the free one because, I'm just not going to pay $240 for another year of, going on once every 2 months and talking a load of shite like I am now. So, we'll see. We'll try and, knowing me, I'll forget and then it'll bloody auto renew. I need to probably find out when it does that and stop it. But boys, it's been a pleasure. Let's hope somehow we can, improve. I just wish, I wish that he would go. Why can't David Moyes leave West Ham? Please. Well, next season, there's going to be options. The problem is after this car crash of a season, will we be able to find anyone better? I mean, the football merry-go-round is going crazy. But I guess we look on the bright side. At least we didn't have to dig up a corpse and put him back in the hot seat like Crystal Palace just did. So silver linings, could be worse. We could have had to dig someone up and put them in there. So yeah, we haven't had to do that yet, thankfully. But hopefully at the end of the season, we're still a Premier League team. We can find someone to replace Moyes. We can use the Declan Rice money to strengthen the squad. In an ideal world, he sells the club. But anyway, I'm going to try and hit 3-3-11. So I'm going to end this. Stay positive. Love your lives. Take care. See you later, everyone.